Hello everyone, welcome again to Spinistry Chat. I am your host Kevin Lee. Today we're going to do about a 30-minute preview, maybe a tad longer, of the MonsterCross Mayhem route and talk about how it works and what the expectations are, and hopefully it addresses any questions that anyone might have along those lines. So it's going to kind of be an interactive overview of the route in Google Earth. But let's talk about some of the basics on the front end. As of the last time I looked at, this is Monday morning, last time I looked at the weather, it looks like we have a fantastic weather forecast for Saturday. That's when we're planning to do the route. We have two versions of the route. We have a 73-ish mile route and a 55-ish mile route. Both of those can be easily shortened, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But here's both of them overlaid together. So the route goes from the TNP station in Fort Worth to Victory Station in Dallas, utilizing as much levee trail, park trail, bike lanes, bike roads as possible. Don't ask me what the mix is. It's probably over half not in traffic, over half that's trails and things like that. There is some single track mixed in, very short sections specifically, but you do have the option, if you want to get some single track in, to get in a lap at Gateway, east and west if you prefer, or a River Legacy as well. Also, obviously, plenty of self-exploration allowed if you want to do more of the Trinity River levees in Dallas or Fort Worth or both. But the main spine route, this red one here, is the 55-miler, and this blue section to the northwest corner, that's what the 73-ish mile route does in Fort Worth at the beginning to kind of deviate from that. There is the option for both of them right here at the midpoint for people that don't want to go 55 miles or over 70 miles, but they still want to have a convenient way to catch the train back. Basically at this midpoint here, if you do the short route, the 55 miler, it turns it into a 30-mile route and you can hop the train at Centerport. If you opt to do the 70-mile route, if you want to catch this loop in Fort Worth and then go to Centerport, it turns into right at a 50-mile route in that case. So, options as low as 30 miles with direct access where the route goes right by a train station. And so let's actually go a little bit more in depth on the route itself. This is the route in Google Earth. See if we can do our play functionality here. And hopefully Alright, so that's Victory Boulevard south of TNP Station. That's the parking area for TNP Station. We'll basically start at 8:45 from that TNP Station. There is the idea. And we'll catch a little bit of road action. I'm pretty sure there's designated bike lane here. And make our way to the Trinity trails in Fort Worth. All routes are following this path as it's mapped out presently. And there's actually a bike lane on the bridge here. It's kind of where you see the funkiness going what looks like on the wrong side, but utilizing a protected bike lane. And then at this juncture here, 55 milers will go right. Longer route riders will go left on that longer loop. And the way we have it laid out, this route is a suggestion, and this is a low water crossing here that goes to Martin House Brewing. It'll be a little bit too early in the morning for Martin House to be open at this juncture, but if you're doing party pace and hanging out at the stockyards or something like that, you'll come back close enough where if you want to catch around at Martin House, you might be able to. But when I say the route is suggested, you can see in the overlays here that there's sometimes trails that run parallel to each other. Typically, the way it works on the Fort Worth side is one of those is paved and one of those is gravel. It's rider's choice which option you select, and it could vary just based on where you're at in the trail and what's the easiest turn access and so forth. This is a little bit of a hilly area. I have the terrain turned off to hopefully smooth the video while it's recording. A little bit of a hilly area here, goes through what I think, I haven't been on this section in a little while, what used to be a neat little one-lane bridge under the train tracks there, and kind of winds through city streets, going by the trash dump off area. You have the landfill dump off area. That's exciting. Catch a little bit of a side trail here, and we're making our way into basically the back door for Fort Worth Stockyards here. So this, for the 70 milers, this loop is primarily surface streets, but a little bit of trail. Like right here, we take a right, and we catch a little bit of trail here that winds through the stockyards on the side of the river. Short section, it comes back up to where we're on surface streets for a little bit. But particularly on Saturday morning, basically the way we have this laid out, these should be pretty sedate streets as far as traffic goes. Most of it's kind of back streets, neighborhood streets, not major thoroughfares. We do go through some intersections along the way. And again, this is the 70-mile detour loop, and it essentially picks up the Fort Worth Stockyards and Buck Sansom Park access, with a little bit coming back from Buck Sansom, a little bit more of the Trinity River trail system in Fort Worth. It's a nice ride, but if your goal is to just get from Fort Worth to Dallas as quickly as possible and not so much be scenic, then maybe the 55-mile route might be a better fit for you. But if you're wanting more mileage than that and see a few more sites, definitely recommend the 70-ish mile route. Now this section right here, this is something I do need to scout. This is an old abandoned roadway that winds into Buck Sansom Park. I'm pretty sure it's bicycle accessible, and then you get to the park, hang a right, and you're back on the Trinity River Trail systems. If for some reason we're not able to cross on that road on bike, there's a through road just a little bit further down. It might add half a mile to the route. This section here of the Trinity Trails has always kind of been one of my favorites for riding. It's kind of doesn't get used very much, and it has a unique flavor to it heading back to the stockyards. It's a fun little section of trail. Go through the playground there, catch the bridge back over the river, and then we essentially head back into the stockyards at this point. And this goes down the main boulevard of the stockyards. If you want to stop at Risky's or something, grab a breakfast burrito, breakfast taco, something there serves breakfast, I know that. Pay attention to your navigation devices. We double back on the old route a little bit and then head south and catch what's essentially an equestrian trail for a short stretch, and then catch the main Trinity trails again. And we'll go by the old baseball stadium, Coyote Drive-In, towards a low water crossing over here. Make this low water crossing, and now we're heading back to basically the main route back to Dallas now. And so we'll be back on where you'll see multiple sections of trail. I guess it's just one at the moment, but you'll see where there's where the trail splits and goes kind of two different directions and things like that. It's rider's choice. You can go left, you can go right, you can go paved. You can go gravel, whatever floats your boat is the idea along those lines. Typically, I usually do the gravel paths myself, but you know, you do you is what that's all about. If you've never trails on the Fort Worth side, this is a great introduction to what they're about and what they have to offer, and give you a sense of them. It's really easy just to spend a whole day winding in and around Fort Worth via the Trinity trails and hopping off at a park and catching a snack here or a cold drink there and that sort of thing. You can access Sansom Park and Gateway Park both via the Trinity trails. I can't remember, is it Bike Mart now? The old Mellow Johnny's bike shop is right on the trail itself. So it's really a good day out on the bike, but if you're not familiar with it at all, I get that. Some people want to kind of have a little bit of a tutorial first. This is a good guided tour of what it does have to offer. In the past, this eastern end, heading towards Gateway Park, on the downtown Fort Worth side of things, it is a little bit closer to where the homeless people facility, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, it's not uncommon for people to be sleeping under the bridges and stuff like that. Never been an issue. Just giving folks a heads up. Used to be off to the right here in the woods, used to be a big homeless camp there. I have no idea if it's still there. Another low water crossing, and now we're basically going into Gateway Park. Again, lots of flexibility here. You can go right and take sidewalk and paved trail that winds through the woods. You can go left and take a little bit more direct route. And as you go by the dog park there and these baseball and soccer fields, there's actually an entrance to the Gateway Park single track trailhead. If you want to catch a little bit of Gateway Park, what they call West single track, it's good on a drop bar bike. There's also an east section that we'll be going by shortly. And a lot of this is new paved trail that I haven't been on yet. Used to do a lot of this very similar on the roads, but Fort Worth and Tarrant County has put in a lot more additional paved trail, and we're going to be utilizing as much of that as we can. So over this way would be the entrance to the Gateway Park East trailhead. It's a little bit more technical mountain biking trail as well. The Gateway West could definitely be done on a drop bar. So this will all be, I think this is all new to me anyway, paved trail as well. Winds around through here, goes by, I believe this is Quanah Parker Park, and definitely when we take this left here, this is all new trail, all new paved trail. It's been there a while. I don't expect there to be any issues, but I have not had wheels on this yet. I'm hoping to maybe later this week to verify a few things. We did go by the eastern end of it when we drove some of the what'll be surface streets, and when we catch that where we have a section in the middle that's almost all surface streets. I do not know if the levee trail on the right is accessible, if you can use that instead of the lower paved trail. Something we can definitely check out. Looks like there's another low water crossing here. Again, new to me. And this winds through towards a residential neighborhood section here. And I think this is an older satellite image, so I think pretty sure everything is accessible through here. And I think worst case scenario, if you're on a bike, you can find a way if needed. But if I get the opportunity, I will be verifying this section as well. So the concept behind our MonsterCross, what I think we've done it in different iterations: MonsterCross Madness, MonsterCross Monday. Man, we had another name for this one maybe the first. I can't remember, but so the idea was an urban adventure ride, Fort Worth to Dallas, utilizing as much of the trail systems as possible, and it's a fun little ride. It's a really cool way to see, how to take a bike from Fort Worth to Dallas or vice versa. The idea for most people is that one way or another you'll be utilizing commuter rail, passenger rail, and this is that surface street section that we were talking about. Mostly through a residential area. You have this stretch here that's a little bit main thoroughfare, but it's a completely safe route. Get across the river, and then pretty soon you'll be back into. And this goes back onto the old Randall Mill here, and you'll catch some more paved trails shortly. Also a convenience store right up here. That's amenities, convenience stores, restaurants, stuff like that. They're sprinkled throughout the route. You really don't have to ever worry about being too far away from resupply if you need it. And that was another feature of the route. It is self-navigated, so you need to download the route and know how to utilize a navigation device with a downloaded route. If you don't have a dedicated navigation device, we do include free access to the Ride with GPS app, which does have navigation capabilities. I will say this, on this type of route where you're using a lot of trails and things like that, it's not going to say, well, turn left on the trail entrance in 3/4 of a mile. It's just going to say, if you're listening to the audio prompts, it's going to say turn left, and it's time to turn left. So if you're using the Ride with GPS app, you do need to realistically be watching the map the whole time, which can drain battery life significantly. Now this stretch here is showing it on the roadway, but if you look to the left, there's a bicycle trail on the left-hand side of the road as well. Again, rider's choice. Do it however you prefer. Definitely, we've had riders that have just ridden the road, and we've definitely had riders that have hopped on the trail and gone that way. And we're coming up on the back side of River Legacy Park now. This is Green Oaks Boulevard in Arlington. So we're going to take a hard left here, and where this goes left here, it goes through a fenced off. There's a gate, but you can just. There's no filler in between. It's just the gate frame, so you can push your bike through and go under. And this is part of the River Legacy Park property, and it's okay for us to be on this road. We've verified it with the city previously, as long as it's bicycles. The gate is to keep motorized vehicles off of it. And this winds around and brings you. This is a little bit of the single track trail here, and then you catch the paved trail on the back side. If you want to catch all of the River Legacy single track, you can keep to the right instead of taking that left and getting on the paved trail and catch River Legacy single track as well. So anybody that's want to do some mountain bike stuff, you've definitely got some opportunity for that. Or if you want to go the direct route, if you haven't been to the River Legacy parks and ridden their paved trails, it's a really neat paved trail section. And the way we're doing this now, where we do use surface streets to fill the gaps between these different trail sections, they are in the process of connecting all of these trails into one continuous trail from Dallas to Fort Worth to Dallas. We're definitely closer than we have been, but it's been the plan for years and years and years. Even we're probably 10 years ago when we first did our first ride like this. And there is more paved trail than there used to be, more levee trail than there used to be. But a lot of this has been here for a while. So we're still on the River Legacy Trail through here. We're just south of the Veridian area, the Veridian neighborhood, I guess is the right way to describe it. But we're still on the River Legacy Trail system, which is traditionally, this has been just an out and back section with a dead end as you get up towards Trinity River. And now with the Viridian neighborhood in there, there's some more surface streets to the north with a connector trail. And here's where we veer left off the River Legacy Trail, catch the Viridian neighborhood trail. And somewhere in here is going to be that connection for the whole Fort Worth to Dallas trail. I don't know where it works. It's going to need a river crossing at the Trinity River, so a big bridge is involved. And this is where it does wind through the Viridian neighborhood a little bit. And this is all filled in now. The aerial is showing it that they're, just clearing the land, excavating. This is all built houses and roads and everything like that currently. So the satellite imagery is a little bit out of date. And we're heading north towards Euless. And basically we're finding a way over the Trinity River to get on the Dallas side of things. We're still in Tarrant County. I think this is South Euless, Maine, if I remember correctly. Coming up towards Trinity Boulevard. And on the left here is Brew City. So it's a big convenience store. Basically everything you need there, but also variety of beers on tap. And for most riders, probably be close to beer 30 if you want to stop for a beer at Brew City. Catch a little bit of Pipeline Boulevard heading towards American Airlines facility. This is American Boulevard here. Hang a left and go north. There's the American Airlines campus on the right. And then we're going to swing up here towards FAA Boulevard and cross 360 and all that good stuff as well. And the way we have this set up presently, you're going to take this all the way to Centerport and swing south. There are some restaurants and stores and stuff in this Trinity Boulevard Centerport area. They're a little bit closer to 360. So like a block west of the route, if you need to find, I think there's a Jack in the Box. I'm sure if there's a Starbucks. So I'm sure if there's a Starbucks and a Jack in the Box, there's other stuff too. And other convenience stores if you didn't stop at Centerport. And this is where the route goes by the Centerport train station itself. So people that were wanting to do the short route, 30 miles or whatever, that's where you would catch the train and head back to your destination. Or folks that run into an issue, or folks that just decided they bit off more than they could chew. If they need a bailout, that's a really convenient bailout. So let's talk about the train situation and how that works on a general perspective. I'm not the expert. I don't have it all memorized. Definitely you'll want to look at the train schedules to see if you're going to use the train, how you want to utilize it. There's two approaches you can take. You can catch a train on the Dallas side and take it into the start area and then pedal back to Dallas. That's definitely an option. But you are tied to, I think there's a train that gets in around 7:30, 7:35, and another one that gets in around 8:30. So we're going to start at 8:45. Depending on how many people show up for this thing, if 50 people try to get on the train with bicycles at the same time, that's probably going to be too much. I don't expect it to be that much, but who knows. The other option is to park at the T&P station, and this is the way I'm going to do it in Fort Worth, and then ride my ride and then take the train back to my car in Fort Worth. There's more flexibility advantage there in that everyone's going to be on a different schedule and finish at different times and probably different places. So you're not going to have everybody on the train at the same time. That's one aspect there. The other aspect is when you finish at T&P Station, there's a very cool bar at T&P Station that might have one last beer. Sidebar. So this looks like we're just going through swampland This is new trail that is in place, new paved trail. So this is a new section here. When I said they've added a few new pieces, this is a stretch here that's new. Obviously, you can see where there was an old Jeep road trail, double track, whatever you want to call it, but that's all paved trail now, and it winds through this wet and swampy section here. And pretty soon you're going to see where it joins with the old established trail, which used to kind of be our dead end. I think it's right here after we go. Yep. So now we're on the old established trail here, just north of Ripley's, believe it or not, and heading towards Lone Star Park. And then for a while we're kind of doing our old stuff, and this is gonna all be trail through here, and making our way to Dallas. That's the Lone Star Park area on the left. This is the road that circles around Lone Star Park to the south and the east. Let's see how far. So we got about 5-6 minutes of this video left. But going back to the trains, talk about that a little bit more. If you park at TNP Station, you can get that one last cold beer, but the main thing is it does give flexibility for coming back. If you take the train from Dallas, you have to get there early enough and hopefully spread the load enough that the train's not full with other people carrying bikes or full in general. I wouldn't think a Dallas to Fort Worth train on a Saturday morning would be super full, but you never know. For those coming back, and the endpoint is Victory Station, obviously you're welcome to do it however you wish as well. You can catch the Trinity trails in Dallas and poke around there and end up at Union Station or whatever else, or just pedal home to another location. That's perfectly fine. But if you're planning to use Victory Station, which I am, to get back on the train and head to Fort Worth at the end, there is a Mavericks game that evening, so the traffic in the Victory Station area will be a little bit higher than usual, but it shouldn't get in the way of taking the train. Like if it was an afternoon game that was getting over about the time that you're hopping on the train, it might be full of people from the Mavericks game trying to get back. And I have used the train to get to a Stars game in the past, and when there's Mavericks and Stars games going on, the train is full. There's no doubt about that. And I have lost sense of perspective of where we are. Okay. That's okay. Wind through here. And this left-hand turn is going to take us up towards a new section of trail. It used to be we went straight and crossed the river on the road here. This part of the trail's been there a while, but it used to basically dead end into this park. And now there's a new bridge crossing here. So this will be a new feature. And I verified this is in place. And a new section of trail. This is on the Dallas side. That's the Trinity River Trail system there. And realistically, from this point, it's meant to be a rider's choice. You explore the Dallas Trinity River Trail as much as you want to. We have pretty much a direct route, crossing that bridge and then going to the linear park and crossing the river again, and then heading straight to Victory Station. But the idea is people can do whatever they want to. They can explore all the river levee trails. They can go to different restaurants or bars or whatever else if they prefer. Whatever floats your boat along those lines. There's a greater than zero chance I believe this is Westmoreland, where you can cross the river. You're actually on the trail under that bridge, and then you hop up to the levee, and this takes you down to the linear park. Was it the old Continental Street Bridge? My likely scenario, if I'm planning to do the 70-ish mile route, and if I'm making decent time and feeling pretty good, I'm probably going to extend this a little bit, add some extra mileage, and swing through Fuel City and get some tacos before I hop on the train and head back, is my general plan. This section through here on top of the levees heading towards the pedestrian bridge, this is just one of my favorite sections of the Dallas Levee Trail. It's a great view of the older neighborhoods to the south, the city skyline on the left. Traditionally, this is a pretty neat gravel section through here. I mean, it's just straight and smooth, but it's a very unique way to get in some gravel. And you have a view of the Trinity trail system, Trinity River Trail system. Like I said, the neighborhood, and Oak Cliff stuff towards the right. This is the pedestrian bridge. You got the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge right there on the right. That's a really cool site. And then this is going into Dallas proper, the city skyline, Reunion Tower, all that good stuff. So we're on surface streets now. And this is going to take a direct route to Victory Station, where the idea is people going back to Fort Worth can just hop on the train at Victory Station and head back in. I'll put up links later today to the different train schedules and things like that. But as long as we're doing this on a Saturday, there's plenty of flexibility. Sundays throws a monkey in the wrench, so to speak. So that's the quickie overview there. Hopefully that answers most questions, but I'm sure there's others that it's generated, so don't hesitate to leave comments or send me a message for more questions. And I want to verify a couple pieces, and then we'll most likely be sharing these routes to registered participants on Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone.